You've got a ready meal in one hand and a nagging feeling in the back of your mind. Is this actually fine to eat? Or am I slowly poisoning myself for the sake of convenience? You've probably heard at least one of three things. Microwaves cause cancer, they destroy nutrients, or the plastic tray is secretly leaching something dangerous into your dinner. Let's actually separate the real concerns from the fake ones, because they're not equally true. And the thing people worry about least is actually the one that matters most. First, the microwave itself. Microwave ovens use something called non-ionizing radiation. That sounds alarming. But the word radiation here just means energy that travels in waves, like light or radio signals. This is fundamentally different from ionizing radiation, the kind used in X-rays or nuclear material, which has enough energy to damage DNA directly. Microwaves work by exciting water molecules in your food, making them vibrate and generate heat. That's it. That's the entire mechanism. Your food doesn't become radioactive. It doesn't retain any radiation once the microwave switches off. This is genuinely one of the most settled, non-controversial facts in food science, and yet it's still one of the most common fears people have. Second, nutrient loss. This is where most people have it backwards. Cooking method matters more than people realize, and microwaving is actually one of the gentler options, especially for ready meals, which are specifically designed for short cook times with very little added water. Compare that to boiling, where water-soluble vitamins, particularly vitamin C and several B vitamins, leach directly into the cooking water and often get poured down the drain. Multiple studies comparing cooking methods have found that microwaving frequently preserves more of these nutrients than boiling does, simply because the cooking time is shorter and there's less water for vitamins to escape into. So if nutrient retention is genuinely your concern, the microwave is rarely the enemy here. The part that actually deserves a closer look, the tray itself. It's worth saying clearly, ready meal trays are not the same as microwaving a random plastic container from your fridge. These trays are specifically engineered for this exact purpose, designed using heat-resistant materials, commonly a plastic called CPET, which is built to withstand repeated high heat cycles without breaking down the way an ordinary takeaway container might. Before they ever reach a supermarket shelf, food packaging, including these trays, has to pass food contact safety testing and meet regulatory standards. That doesn't mean every concern about plastic and heat disappears entirely. Heat does increase chemical migration from some plastics, and research is still evolving on long-term low-level exposure. But it does mean a purpose-built ready meal tray is a meaningfully different situation than reheating leftovers in an old plastic tub that was never designed for this. A simple, low-drama rule that works well here. If the packaging specifically says microwave safe and you follow its instructions, you're using it as intended. If you're reheating in a container that wasn't designed for this, that's where a bit more caution is worth applying. So if the microwave is fine, and the tray is mostly fine when used as designed, where's the actual concern? Sodium. This is the part that gets far less attention than it deserves. Shelf-stable ready meals often rely heavily on salt, not just for flavor, but as a preservation tool, helping control bacterial growth and extend shelf life without needing refrigeration. Some shelf formats can carry well over half of an entire day's recommended sodium intake in a single meal. Military-style ready-to-eat meals, for comparison, have historically contained as much as 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams of sodium each. And that's intentional, for shelf life reasons, not a flavor preference. Consistently high sodium intake is linked to increased blood pressure over time. And elevated blood pressure is one of the most significant modifiable risk factors for heart disease and stroke. This has absolutely nothing to do with how the meal was heated. It's baked into the formulation. Long before it ever reaches your microwave, there's also a food safety angle worth understanding, separate from sodium and separate from the microwave debate entirely. Ready-to-eat meals fall under increasingly strict regulatory attention regarding bacteria like Listeria, which can survive refrigeration temperatures that would stop most other bacteria. This is why proper storage instructions actually matter, keeping meals adequately refrigerated, respecting use-by dates, and not leaving them at room temperature for extended periods. The microwave itself is actually part of the solution here. Proper heating to a high enough internal temperature is one of the most effective ways to eliminate bacterial contamination. So paradoxically, underheating a ready meal is a far more realistic safety concern than overheating one. So how do you actually use this information practically? First, follow the specific heating instructions on the packaging. not general assumptions. These instructions are tested for that exact product, tray shape, and wattage assumptions. Second, check the sodium content on the nutrition label, not the front-of-pack marketing claims like natural or no artificial preservatives, which say nothing about salt content. As a rough guide, nutrition labels often color code sodium content, and anything consistently in the high range, eaten frequently, adds up quickly across a week. Third, inspect the tray itself before reheating. If it's visibly warped, cracked, or cloudy from repeated use, that's a sign it's breaking down and shouldn't be reused, even if it was originally microwave safe. Fourth, vent according to instructions. Many trays include a corner or film designed to be partially opened or pierced, specifically to manage steam and pressure safely. So where does this actually leave us? Two of the three big fears about microwaving ready meals, radiation and nutrient loss, aren't well supported by the evidence. The tray itself is generally fine when it's purpose-built and used as instructed, though it's reasonable to prefer glass or ceramic for very oily or acidic meals if you're being extra cautious. The genuine concern, the one that actually affects your health, is sodium content. And that's a formulation issue, not a heating issue. The microwave isn't the villain here. If you're worried about a ready meal, the nutrition label deserves far more of your attention than the appliance. Subscribe for more food and health claims, fact-checked simply. See you in the next video.